building ventures to making music learning global. Today, we are going to brunch with a serial founder who hits all the right notes. Today we are joined by Lakshmi Narayana Yeluri, the man behind Impel Group, building ventures across edtech, wellness, music, and B2B service industries. Let's join him. Welcome back to Brunch with Boss, the tastiest way to learn from the board in business. So, welcome to Brunch with Boss.
Hi, Uncle. Thanks for having me on your
Wonderful.
show.
Pleasure is all ours. And let's get into our commute conversation.
Looking forward to it.
Right. So, how did you start your day?
Day was as usual, a typical day where I would wake up and have my morning coffee, enjoying the birds chirping and having my me time, that I would say the calm time, where I try to regroup my thoughts and think about the overall my plans and how I reflect upon. That's my reflection time, I would say, yeah.
Wonderful. So, do you still play any instrument regularly?
So sometimes I get my hands onto guitar, and sometimes I'm not. When I'm too much involved in any new startup, I don't even play instrument. So I just focus on one thing so deep that I don't have my thought process shaken by anything.
So, what song is stuck in your head right now?
Doug, there's one song that's very lively these days. Ayushman Khurrana's song. What is that? Kali Teri Paranda.
Okay.
Yeah, that song is lingering on my mind for some time. Yeah.
So, what's your playlist often when you commute to your office?
So of late, I started bringing out some of the archives where I have sung or where I have played the instruments. I started posting on social media, and I started collecting my own playlist just to get some feedback on how I'm singing or playing. So I think I've been playing that off late. But otherwise, my regular playlists are classic rock or Rafis, and so I listen to all genres of music, but mostly melodies is what I prefer.
So, we came to know that you are a classic hard rock fan. So, how about it?
I would say classic rock fan.
Classic
Rock instead of classic hard rock.
Okay.
So we grew up, at least I grew up just like many other musicians of our age who have been growing up listening to Pink Floyd's and Eagles and Dire Straits. We belong to that generation, yeah.
Gen Z, noted. So, are you a tea or a coffee person after a big meeting or before a big meeting?
Irrespective of meeting, it's always coffee.
So, which city in India feels the most startup friendly to you?
For me, it's a big, Hyderabad all time, because geographically and also the climate wise and ecosystem wise, in many ways, I prefer Hyderabad over any other city.
So, do you believe founders should chase passion or market demand?
I would say, pursuing passion projects, is fine, but then not without having a clear market and market pull, I would say. Or if you go with market demand first and then see if you can find passion in one of the aspects of that business. See, because any market or any industry has a huge value chain. So in the value chain, you might be able to find one part which you can passionately solve. So that could be another angle to it. Instead of choosing bringing passion first, then trying to figure out market can be too risky.
Okay. That's quite an insight for young founders who are looking at any insights and tips from founders like Lakshmi Narayana Garu. So, who is one person in your network you call when you are truly stuck?
I won't say one person that I would look up to. There are at least 2-3 close associates of mine who I would call to quickly check, because they've been in the trenches, not from my angle, founder's perspective, because founder's perspective, I have first-hand experience. Typically, I would like to take an opinion from people who are actually operating from the above in the value system. For example, a couple of my friends who have been venture partners in VC firms, like my friend, one of my friend who had been a venture capitalist, Samresh, he lives in Vietnam. So I call him up. Sometimes I call my friend Rahul, who is working in Nikhil Kamat's investment firm. So I have few helplines that I would quickly, call up and say, hey, this is what the situation. Am I going? Not that I've been a good listener. I follow their advice all the time, but then yes, I just revalidate and check, whether I am taking a half-mad decision or a full-mad decision.
So you were all over the places with all your ventures and all. They might be thinking, okay, what is this gentleman about? I mean, what is he up to? He's all over the places. I mean, usually, people complain when we try to attempt a lot of things. They will tell me, okay, you don't have focus. You are, misleading yourself in a career and all. This, happens. How about, your better half and family? What were they thinking about this pursuit of yours? And how did they support you in this entire journey?
So it's an interesting question. So if you are so desirous and obsessed to be an entrepreneur, one of the fundamental things they should do is be very clear about the kind of life partner you're choosing, and be very upfront with your life partner to be about how this life is going to look like. And if you could have someone like the one who can support your vision, then that becomes your foundational success. Number one. So I think I had absolute clarity on how my life is going to be, and that I've been very candid with my wife. So, and she was super supportive about all this, madness that I pursue. So that way I've been very lucky, and my kids also have been super supportive that way. But at the same time, I'll have to be honest, barring the few years that I'm 100% away from family while I was building few startups, rest of the time I tried to balance it out in a way that I ensured that they pursued music, ensured that they played sports. I played sports along with them, and I played music along with them. So, and I made sure that I had given enough time to groom them into arts and sports. I would not say academics though, because that was not my area. So I was an evangelist for sports and arts, and that's what at least I ensured that my kids pursued.
Lovely. I think with this last question, we are wrapping our commute conversation, and let's head to the brunch.
Look forward to it.
Catch you with the main conversation at the Hudson Hives venue. Hello, sir. Welcome to Brunch with Boss main conversation. Let's get into it.
Thanks,
without any delay.
Let's keep it rolling.
Right. So, what made you to take the plunge into venture building before it became a trend?
To say, uncle, I always believed build one business, but build it big enough. And with that notion only, I built Study Abroad, one of the largest consulting company within 36 months. And by fourth year, we were supposed to enter into international markets and make it a global player. But unfortunately, the study abroad industry had too many macro factors, which has exposed our business into too many vulnerabilities. And the moment I realized that I can no longer be in one business, especially the one that I have touched upon happens to be having so many vulnerabilities. I happen to be a venture builder and a multi-venture founder, not really by choice, but then I've been forced into it, mostly out of the need to make the entire business more immune from market vulnerabilities. And it has taken me about 12 years since I have conceptualized these ventures. And then now we are transforming from ventures to group.
That's quite a journey so far. So, your first aha moment where you felt this is bigger than me?
I would say my first scalable venture, when I scaled Study Abroad, all I started with was a simple vision that we will build nation's largest consulting company, delivering ethical advice on study abroad consulting that would take consideration into what is the career outcome or a migration outcome that they are actually chasing. So the typical question a study abroad consultant would ask is which country you would want to go to. It's not a bus that you would want to hop on and hop out. It is more a career outcome or a settlement outcome the learner is looking at.
Of course.
So such powerful mission we came out with, and then the mission transformed itself into a large company in 36 months. And when I could see that yes, I had that ingredients to build a large scalable company in 36 months, that is when I figured that okay, this is that aha moment when I realized that my companies are larger than me, and they've outgrown my vision and they can outgrown my personality or founder per se.
Lovely. So, what's the story of your first big idea and what made you to take the leap?
My first big idea, the scalable venture is Study Abroad, the Impel Overseas Consultants Limited. And apparently we carry the name Impel all throughout. First it became as Impel Overseas, then we transformed ourselves into Impel Ventures. Now we are reaching out to our last leg, which is our Impel Group, which is the ecosystem in itself. So the first scalable idea is Study Abroad Consulting.
Right. So, what was the toughest part about getting your first customer or investor?
Getting the first customers was never a big difficulty because marketing is my core forte, and I've been extremely good at digital marketing all through my journey. So acquiring customers, was never a difficulty for me, and I was innovating with a lot of direct-to-customer marketing initiatives right from my first ventures. With regards to getting investors on board, again, my win ratio to pitch was extremely high. I think probably, that is mostly, I would say, because of the preparation that I would, do much before I approach any investor, and also the conviction that I carry. So once you are well prepared and the conviction is right there, it shows. And once it shows, I think money is there plenty available. It's just that money is looking for people with conviction and grit who can make things happen with the money. So the first part is to build the right conviction and the right product, and then come across with the preparation, and the money is always there.
As the saying goes, luck favors the bold and the prepared ones.
Exactly.
So, what's one decision you made early on that completely changed your growth trajectory?
So, one thing I was always in pursuit, Uncle, is that one question that I always kept on asking me through the early years of my career: am I in the right business? Am I in the right format? Because if you ask a crow to climb a tree, it can't climb, it can fly, right? So which means the format itself should be correct enough for you to succeed, right? So, which means you'll have to be in the right industry at the right time with the right team, with the right resources. So, these are the 4 or 5 things that always linger around my mind that, okay, am I doing the right thing in the right space at the right time?
So it's been quite a long time you are into venture building as an entrepreneur and all. You being sat on both sides of the table, which is the difficult one? Is it the investor Lakshmi Narayana or the founder Lakshmi Narayana?
So, we haven't invested in real senses so far, uncle, that yes, we are now transforming ourselves into a investment holding company. But most of our journey in the last 12 years, we have been an operating holding company. Yes, we have invested, but then we are mostly bootstrapped, and then we raised funds from VCs. We also raised from HNIs. But we never sat on sidelines as an investor, and we don't intend to also, at least in the near future, because we want to be operators first.
You'll have to get into the debt.
Yeah, I mean, see, we've been builders, we've been operators. So we want to make sure that, we have our DNA in everything that we did.
I agree. That is the spirit we needed to build any venture, to fold our sleeves and get into. So how do you approach innovation in your group? How do you see it? I mean, is there any innovation team or anyone who could, always scout for gaps in the market? And how do you approach it usually?
So the 6 core values for our group in itself, one of the core value is innovation in itself.
Okay.
So at a personal level, now that the opportunity has come, I wanted to tell you, we have chosen 6 core values at the group. At a personal level, for all the individuals whom we want to associate in the group, we look for 3 key values. 1 is passion, 2 is empathy, 3 is character. 3 fundamentals. Once we see that, okay, this person has character, this person is passionate, and this person is an empathetic person, that clears out the first thing for us. Now, as much a person has empathy, passionate, but then org side, when it comes to the values, we look for 3 things: merit, innovation, and impact. Because that was one of the fundamental strength that our group inherently acquired, and that quality has been mostly driven by me with my core team members. But slowly we are transforming that into the DNA of the group itself by bringing out explicitly as the group's values system now.
Okay. That is how you want to build your company's culture?
Exactly.
Right. So what has been your most unconventional strategy to stand out in the market?
Most of our ventures, if you see, we are at least, in one way, we are extremely unconventional, that we never believed in, the age-old saying that, okay, business would need ABC ingredient first, then XYG will happen in phase 2, then something will happen in phase 3. Okay. I always believed that a business can be profitable right from the day one, which no B school will ever say that a business is profitable from day one, right? Most businesses I have built, I have ensured that the businesses took off vertically. So when you take off vertically, everything is possible. All that it requires is a preparation like the 100th day on the day one. Right? If your business takes 100 days to become profitable, to get into XYZ operational efficiency, might as well you do the whole preparation. See if you can take off vertically, so that you can avoid burn, you can avoid any such lag, and then you can kickstart your business. So one of the first fundamentals we do unconventionally is that in business we say there is nothing like wait period. You will do it today, you will do it now. That's one of the unconventional approaches we have taken, and that's been hugely successful. Yes.
Right. So how do you handle competition? Do you study them closely or just focus inward?
Competition, normally, at least personally, I study only before I enter into the market.
Okay.
Only to set our benchmarks against the competition.
Okay.
And then once we are launched a product in any space, normally we don't look at competition much, because once you launched, you are unique in your own way, and the less we know about competition, the better it is for our health. That's what at least I feel, because one man's meat is another man's poison. What works for my competition may not work for me. So I'll have to be unique in my own way and mind my own customers and mind my ways of working into customers, lives, than thinking about what my competition does. If it is really, hampering my business in some way, it will anyway come to my notice. Not that I need to go out and dig what my competition is doing.
That's quite a wonderful approach in dealing with competition and all. Instead of getting intimidated, being confident on your approach.
Yes, that's what at least we believe in, the right approach.
Wonderful. So, could you please throw some light on your parallel journey of building musical?
So musical happens to be the most passionate project of all my ventures. Typically, I spend about a year and a half, max 2 years to build a business and bring it to a level where we are in a good shape to get our partners to operate the business. But it's been 6 years, and I haven't yet brought in a partner to manage the business yet. And it's sitting right under my nose, and I am handling a lot of things myself. Such is my passion towards music education and this field. Such is my passion for this brand. Mostly because of the reason that I evangelized music and music education and its benefits to the society for so long. And as an entrepreneur, whatever you have evangelized the most in your life, if you can't stand by that product and make that product so deep and go so much into the community, what else will you stand for? So that question kept on haunting me. So we have actually kind of completely polarized our operations into one venture for so long, but now we are trying to get back our balance into a neutral way into all our ventures as we step into our group journey. Yeah, that's been my association with musical.
That's definitely a point to be noted. So as we could see, you are juggling multiple ventures and all. How do you split your energy among these? Do you have a favorite baby, or someone where you try to take sides with?
I won't say favorite baby, but then see, end of the day, whatever brand you have built, they're all like your babies only. Okay, if you ask a family head that who is your favorite baby, there won't be a straight answer to it. But then there will be times you care for one baby more than the other, because they might need your hand holding more than the others. And there may be others, obviously there will be a pet project or a pet child, which happens invariably. End of the day, we are all humans. And for example, definitely there is a huge affinity in the group towards musical, because the kind of positive impact it can deliver in the community, and also the fact that we've been the first movers in that space, creating a category that never existed. There will be a few, but not to put myself into trouble. I think this is one question, I think we'll have to stop it here.
Right. So any fundraising lessons during this grill and journey all through?
So my advice for all aspiring entrepreneurs who are in the process of fundraising or who want to raise funds, I would say one question they should ask themselves before they raise funds: is funds the only thing that is stopping you from becoming successful? I'm sure most founders can always find answers to that no, that's not the only thing that is actually stopping them from doing good business. So I would say better solve so many things that you can be solved without funds first. Only when fund is stopping you from getting ahead in your business, fund will come searching to you. So that is how you approach funds. 2, when you raise funds, you'll have to be extremely careful and only raise funds only when it is absolutely needed. 3, see who are you raising funds from.
That is a needed lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs.
So if you are not raising funds from the person who is passionate or is going to be with you for long term, then you are actually inviting a big trouble. So this is a very, deep subject, fundraise in itself. I don't think I can cover much in one go with 2 lines, but then my 2 cents would be pick the investor carefully. And the second thing, don't go after capital unless you are completely done with your answers in your business.
Okay. So what's harder? Is it scaling a music tech platform or building multiple ventures in parallel?
Music tech platform, Musical happens to be our online first business. So that was quite a journey, and we learned a lot building Musical, and that has only sharpened Group's playbooks in VC fundable playbooks and VC fundable projects and online first startups. Our entire offline playbook of what we have built across multiple ventures and what we intend to do a lot in the going forward. What we did alone in Musical totals almost equivalent to that. So that's how complex things can be when you try to scale anything online first businesses. It is like in Telugu you say Soksmamlo Moksham, means in a small app or a small thing you will have to deliver a lot. Which means unless you got extraordinary clarity and extremely capable teams of putting the context together in small granular level details, you will not be able to scale through tech. But that kind of attention to detail and focus and building products helps you in multifolds when you are building your offline ventures.
Can you share a failure that in hindsight became a blessing for you?
Oh, in fact, so I would not call anything as a failure, because a failure is
A setback?
a failure only when you consider it. So typically we don't consider anything into failure because we turn all of that into a learning, and then we improvise on those learnings, and then we come up with a deeper playbook each time. So that way I have not concluded or considered any setback yet into a failure. I am only taking those learnings, and we are improvising our playbook. Yes, the bigger setbacks we had, like we had setbacks in study abroad when we were the largest consulting company with 50 offices, 100-member team, and then suddenly the industry walked into recession, and that was a huge setback. We were back into garage by 2011. Our team, we had to scale down. But then we had a huge playbook we learned from that industry that yes, as a company you have the capability to scale, which means it is only the industry that has failed you. You go and find an industry that won't fail you. Then we ventured into wellness, something that is recession proof, and we did extraordinarily well. Just when we thought we were doing extraordinarily well, we walked into Corona. Then again, that was a huge setback. All of our businesses came to standstill. Then we pivoted into online first company Musical and raised VC capital. So each setback, we made sure that we fell forward instead of falling backward.
I believe that usually setbacks are not really problematic. Sometimes if we handle them right, it will throw in the journey forward only.
Exactly.
We'll fall forward.
Yes. So it requires certain amount of extra energy, and it will exhaust you a lot, because each time you're taking a setback and again recovering from it. The more times you can stand back on your feet after taking the beating, the more stronger and resilient you'll become, right?
I agree.
So if you've seen the movie Rocky, so what does Rocky's coach tell? Absorb.
Take
Take more. So the more you can take and more you can absorb and stand in the arena, and then one punch you can knock off your opponent, right? So the business is also like that. The more you can take, the more beating you can take and stand there, you can definitely deliver a greater punches.
So after all this journey and all, we have made a lot of mistakes, right? What is that one mistake you don't want to repeat again? You will never repeat again.
No, so I don't think I am, would want to make a mistake again. Okay. So which means a mistake will never be repeated. So it is going to be a new mistake which will unfold in itself Okay. It is just that, we just wish and pray that, we don't fall into one more mistake from unknown territory. From known territory, you would want to do, you wouldn't want to go the same route. Okay. One more time.
Right. So how do you personally handle when things get tough or rough in the journey?
So you draw from your past experiences. So when your journey gets difficult, you do double time. What do you do?
And
You can approach two ways, right?
yeah.
Either you can slow down and go to a corner and say, repent that, okay, one more time I'm hitting a wall. So that could be a reaction. So while a tough time is not something that you can control, how you react to tough time is very much in your control. And the typical way I personally come out of any tough time is you do double time. Means you work even more harder. Right? So the more troubles, the more harder you'll need to work to come out of it. The more stronger you will have to go at it.
Right.
That is the only way ever you will come out of it.
Taking it on a right note and reflecting the where we went wrong and all, assessing and bouncing back.
Exactly. So you'll have to absorb, reflect upon what it is, and then come back fresh into the market. Okay. Wash your face, put up a smile on your face, come back and stand, come back to your hustle, get into more grind. When
Give it a
things
shot.
go south, you get into more grind.
Great, great. So, has there ever been a moment you almost gave up, and what kept you going so far?
Giving up was never an option, so I don't think I ever thought of, ever going there. So there were extremely tough moments, like there were at least 2 to 3 times when my health gave up almost like anything. Sometimes there were deep financial crises. Sometimes there were issues in the family, like, which really needed my time and attention. But none of it, what are problems you have as an entrepreneur, or even for that matter, even if you're pursuing a career, whatever obstacles otherwise you have in your life, you still have to, go back to your work, whatever you do, and then find solutions from work. Because staying away from work is not going to give you solutions. So giving up is not going to take you anywhere, because once you are a quitter, you're always a quitter. So the problem with quitting is it is not once. It becomes imbibed in your, mindset.
Yeah.
So that is a bigger problem than the setback itself. So it is an extremely important thing that whatever may be the situation, giving up is just not an option.
Right. So, one trait every founder needs to survive their bounce back moment.
Courage and self-belief. Courage to take action under all the circumstances. Self-belief that you can always come back and make it big. I think these two are the most fundamental. Everything else is the secondary, tertiary, and so on.
So, heading to the future, we certainly see a brighter road ahead for Impel Group. And where do you see Impel Group in the next 5 years, and what exactly is chalked out on the plan?
So Impel Group, finally, this has been my dream. See, as a businessman, you build a business, then you become an entrepreneur, you scale one business, you scale multiple businesses. What next? Right? The ultimate dream for any entrepreneur is, if only you can become an ecosystem where the entire leadership lessons you learned are transformed into the DNA of the group, and they are there in a scripture where you are able to now transform that whole wisdom into a school where you are able to groom leaders and entrepreneurs. A facet of the entrepreneur is venture building quality, and what if that can become a studio? A facet of what all you have done is the other third important ingredient is capital. What if you could transform that whole engine into a capital ecosystem? So my vision was always to see, before my personal steam, comes down a bit, can I transform this whole, energy into a group that carries the same DNA, but then it is much more institutionalized. So the fundraising is now institutionalized, it's capital. The leadership building is now the leadership arm, and the venture building is now become a venture studio. So that is the ecosystem, we are transforming ourselves into as we walk into 2026. And then for the next 10 years, we intend to raise over 100 crores in capital in deployment across our ventures in consumer space. And then I personally want to mentor at least 1,000 leaders and entrepreneurs through the School of Entrepreneurship. And as part of our venture building commitment, we want to at least empower 50 to 60 ventures in consumer space and other emerging markets over the next 10 years.
Wow, Lynn, that's quite promising. That's quite promising, and something young founders got to take a note and look out what is happening at Impel Group. So, what kind of founders you are betting on?
Founders with extreme conviction, founders with courage, self-belief, and founders who are willing to get their hands dirty, and who are founders who are willing to go through the grind. These are the fundamentals we look at.
Okay. How do you see EdTech evolving post 2025's mishap?
Post 2020 or 25?
2025. After big mishap in the EdTech sector through Byju's or another players.
So the Byju's unfolding happened, I think, somewhere in 2022, 23 itself, I think, the story got unfolded. Overall, as a space at tech, unfortunately, my predecessors have left so much, dirt in that space that there are very, very few select startups in edtech that have actually cracked the code. 98% have actually left the industry in shambles. All startups who are otherwise supposed to do good also got through that bad lens, and they also suffered. But as a sector, edtech is a great sector, but that sector is only for extremely high definition players, and there are some sector specialist capitals that are exclusively funding in that space. They know what that playbook is, and there are very few international players who have actually cracked tech, and they are doing extremely good. And there are few, at least 2 to 3 promising startups in edtech who will make it big in the next 10 years.
Right. So, what excites you most about India's founder ecosystem?
Everything about founder ecosystem in India today is super good. It's unbelievable. From a time, when we only bought products or brought products from West, to a time, our edtech products, our SaaS products, we are shipping to the world. These are unbelievable times. Whole world is looking at India, India's startup space, India's consumer market, India's, market size. India opportunity is the talk of the world, and it is going to remain for the longest time like this.
I always feel that India has its own edge, where people have overlooked for quite a long time, and now they are looking the real side of it and potential of it.
Yes, India story has just started unveiling itself from the last 5 years, and it is just only the beginning.
Yes.
And as you see in the next years and decades to come, India is going to be one of the largest players in terms of tech, in terms of AI, and even in robotics, and even in space. India is cruising ahead like anything. Many sectors India will rule, especially consumer brands have also started catching up in India big time, surpassing international brands and their standards. Overall, fantastic times to be in business.
Right. So, What's one myth you want to break about entrepreneurship?
One biggest myth I've been breaking all throughout is the fact that most founders and startups, everyone that talk about when they are, the first thing that comes to their mind when they want to build startup is capital. I think that's the myth I want to break. That capital should be the last worry for someone to become successful in business. So I think that's the biggest myth people should really do away with, because capital is not the thing that is stopping them from getting ahead in business. First, they should become enterprising and entrepreneurs. Becoming an entrepreneur doesn't mean you are coming with capital. You need to understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur, behave like one, be like one, and then embrace all the entrepreneurship qualities. Then automatically everything will follow.
Got it. It's
Capital cannot make you an entrepreneur. First you are an entrepreneur, then capital comes and will come
Capital
as one
follows.
piece of it.
Capital follows. The
Follows
moment
an
you crack the code.
Being an
of-
entrepreneur code.
Yeah.
So that's where even I authored a book,
Yeah.
the Unlock the Entrepreneur Mindset.
Double. Yeah.
Of that mindset and the overall, the entrepreneur in making is the first piece, then the capital itself.
Of course, it is so. In one sentence, what's your definition of success?
Success, in my definition, is to be able to design your life and lead a designer life for yourself. Right? So, when you say a designer dress or a designer home, what is it? It is spec made, custom made to your choice. Can you make your life a designer life as per your choices?
Designing your lives.
So, if you can design your life and live a life of your design, then that's a fantastic success, right?
Right. Right. Wonderful. Wonderful advice on it. So, let's conclude the main conversation and head to the rapid fire.
Oh my God, rapid fire.
So, early bird or night owl?
Night out,
Pitch deck or product demo?
product demo,
Favorite Impel portfolio company?
musical,
Beatles or A.R. Rahman?
A.R. Rahman,
Elon Musk or Warren?
Warren.
Just big purchase after setting up your Impel Group.
After Impel Group, we haven't purchased anything.
Right. So, is it about mentoring or peer learning?
Peer learning,
You go to music genre?
classic rock.
Book you recommend to every founder?
The first book should be The Entrepreneur Mindset.
We will make sure. Make a note.
And the second book should be 0 to 1, Peter Thiel. And the third book should be The Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Okay. First app you check in the morning.
Think it's WhatsApp.
Worst startup advice you heard?
Raise more capital, go after capital. That's the worst advice I would say. That's not how it should work.
Dream dinner guest.
Dream dinner?
Dinner guest.
Dream dinner guest.
Yeah.
I think if Steve was alive, Steve would have been my guest.
Lovely, lovely. So, musician you would love to collab with?
Ilayaraja,
Better founder quality, is it resilience or creativity?
resilience,
Resilience. Guitar or piano?
piano.
Piano. So, if you weren't building ventures, what would you be doing right now?
I would have been doing music.
Music. So, are you an introvert or extrovert?
Partly both.
Work from home outfit?
I think my shorts and t-shirt,
A city you love to work from?
Hyderabad,
Beach holiday or mountain escape?
beach holiday,
One food you can't live without?
Indian food,
Indian food. Morning playlist vibe, calm or high energy?
calm.
Okay. Last photo you clicked on your phone?
I think my cat,
Yeah. Okay. Dream car or bike?
bike.
Bike. One thing you are secretly addicted to?
I think my major addiction is venture building, and there is nothing secretive about it.
So Netflix binge or YouTube deep dive?
YouTube deep dive.
What's the last thing you Googled?
I think I googled about the how do I prepare for my first podcast, but I don't Google anymore. I clod it now.
That's a wrap with Rapid Fire, and that is Lakshmi Narayana Yeluri for us. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Uncle, for having me on your podcast.
Pleasure is all ours. Pleasure is all ours. And building ventures, shaping dreams, and striking a note with every founder everywhere. If this resonates with you, do hit like, subscribe, and follow and share #Startup Spirit. Stay tuned for more. And a big shout out to our venue partner, Hudson House, and our production team, Clip Hive. Signing off.